Welcome to Headphone News, Greater Toronto Edition for Tuesday, November 19th, 2024.
Police search for suspect in Brampton sexual assaults. Peel Regional Police are seeking a suspect in connection with 3 sexual assaults that took place in Brampton, Ontario. These incidents occurred near bus stops throughout November. In each case, the suspect posed as a rideshare driver. The first assault happened on November 8th at 7 a.m. when a woman accepted a ride while waiting at a bus stop and was taken to a secluded area where the assault occurred. An 18-year-old woman was assaulted later that same day after agreeing to a ride. On the following Saturday, a 21-year-old woman was approached at a bus stop, accepted a ride, and was also assaulted. Police described the suspect as a man aged between 20 and 25, with short black hair and a medium build. A black Hyundai Elantra is linked to these incidents. Authorities urge the public to stay vigilant and verify rides before entering any vehicle. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the police.
Injuries challenge Toronto Maple Leafs as Järnkrok undergoes surgery. Järnkrok, a winger for the Toronto Maple Leafs, underwent surgery for a groin and sports hernia issue. The team reported that Järnkrok, who is 33 years old, will need about 1 month to recover. So far this season, he has not played any games due to injuries. In the previous season, he scored 10 goals and recorded 21 points in 52 games. Captain Austin Matthews is also sidelined with an injury and is expected to miss his 7th consecutive game. His last appearance was on November 3rd. Head coach Craig Berube stated that Matthews is not getting worse but requires more time to heal. The Maple Leafs currently have a record of 5 wins and 1 loss without Matthews and are riding a 2-game winning streak.
Rise in mover scams in Toronto. Reports indicate an increase in mover scams throughout the Toronto area of Ontario, Canada. Legal expert Rocco Scacco highlights a growing number of complaints regarding fraudulent moving companies. Victims often face significant price hikes after their belongings are loaded onto trucks. Jolette Samuels, a woman from Whitby, hired a mover in September 2024 but has yet to receive her items. Complaints about moving scams had previously decreased in 2022 when the Toronto police shut down a major moving fraud operation, resulting in several arrests. This operation involved a scheme where customers received low quotes that dramatically soared once the moving process began. Scacco urges consumers to exercise caution when selecting moving companies and offers legal options for anyone affected by these scams. It is important for individuals planning a move to recognize the warning signs of low quotes that can lead to hefty fees.
Ontario to close supervised consumption sites. The Ontario government plans to close 10 supervised consumption sites due to their proximity to schools and daycare centers, raising safety concerns. Health Minister Sylvia Jones announced a new approach focusing on addiction recovery, shifting away from harm reduction. This includes the establishment of 19 new homelessness and addiction recovery treatment hubs, called Heart Hubs, along with 375 supportive housing units to help address addiction issues. Critics caution that closing these sites could lead to an increase in overdose deaths. The proposed legislation will require government approval for any future consumption sites, highlighting the ongoing importance of these services for vulnerable populations.
Injury update for Edmonton Oilers' Darnell nurse. Darnell Nurse, a defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers, is expected to miss 5 to 10 days due to a head injury. The injury occurred during a game against the Toronto Maple Leafs on November 16, 2024, in Toronto. Nurse was hit by Ryan Reeves, who was penalized with a match penalty. Coach Chris Knobloch shared that Nurse is recovering well. Reeves received a 5-game suspension from the National Hockey League for this incident. This situation highlights ongoing concerns about player safety in hockey.
Toronto Santa Claus Parade announcement. The original Santa Claus Parade is set to take place in Toronto, Ontario, on November 19, 2024. Festivities will kick off at 12:30 p.m. with Santa Claus leading a colorful procession featuring hundreds of festive floats. This year's parade will follow a new route starting at Christie Pitts Park and concluding at St. Lawrence Market. Several roads will be closed from early morning through late afternoon to ensure safety for everyone involved. Before the parade begins, the Holly Jolly Fun Run will start at 11:45 a.m., inviting participants to dress in festive outfits. This much-loved event brings the community together and officially marks the start of the holiday season in Toronto.
Serious pedestrian accident in North York. A 40-year-old pedestrian was seriously injured after being hit by a vehicle in North York, a district of Toronto in Ontario, Canada. The incident occurred at the intersection of Victoria Park and York Mills around 6:20 p.m. Emergency services quickly transported the pedestrian to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating with police. This accident highlights critical concerns regarding pedestrian safety in busy urban areas like North York.
Toronto man arrested for multiple burglaries. Toronto police arrested a 54-year-old man, Peter Marullis, in connection with several burglaries in the city. The latest incident took place on November 5, when he allegedly broke into a business on Danforth Avenue early in the morning, stealing items before fleeing the scene. Authorities charged Marullis with 7 counts of breaking and entering and 21 counts of breaching probation. He is set to appear in court soon. This situation raises concerns about crime and safety in neighborhoods across Toronto.
Toronto Maple Leafs roster update. On November 19, 2024, the Toronto Maple Leafs reported that center David Kampf is placed on injured reserve due to a lower body injury. At 29 years old, Kampf has appeared in 18 games this season, contributing 3 assists. His recovery is expected to be quick, with a chance of returning by Sunday for a game against the Utah Hockey Club. In a related move, 20-year-old Fraser Minton has been recalled from the Toronto Marlies, the team's affiliate in the American Hockey League. Minton has netted 2 goals and collected 4 points in his last 5 AHL games. General manager Brad Treliving noted a preference for Minton to gain additional experience in the AHL, but acknowledged his impressive performance. The Maple Leafs are dealing with further injury challenges, including the absence of captain Austin Matthews, complicating team decisions as the season moves forward.
Charges against Brampton tow truck driver for speeding. A tow truck driver from Brampton, Ontario, Canada, faces charges after being stopped for excessive speeding. Police observed the driver going 116 kilometers per hour in a 70 kilometer per hour zone. Charges include stunt driving and safety violations. The driver's license has been suspended for 30 days, and the vehicle has been seized for 2 weeks. This incident raises concerns about road safety and emphasizes the need for strict enforcement of traffic laws.
Peel Regional Police reduce 911 wait times. Peel Regional Police have announced a major reduction in emergency 911 call wait times in Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon, Ontario, Canada. Thanks to the introduction of next-generation 911 technology and more staff, average wait times have decreased by 78%. Now, 92% of 911 calls are answered within 15 seconds. This improvement comes after a serious incident where a family experienced a 4-minute wait while trying to report an armed home invasion. Misuse of the 911 system, often involving non-emergency calls, has historically contributed to response delays. To combat this issue, Peel Regional Police have launched a public awareness campaign aimed at educating residents on the proper use of 911. Recent statistics show a 30% drop in misuse calls compared to last year. These changes highlight the police's commitment to enhancing public safety and improving emergency response efficiency in the community.
Toronto Argonauts celebrate Grey Cup win. The Toronto Argonauts hosted a victory rally in downtown Toronto on November 19, 2024. Fans filled Maple Leaf Square to celebrate the team's triumph over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the Grey Cup, which took place on November 17, 2024. The Argonauts secured the championship with a score of 41-24, marking their second Canadian Football League title in 3 years. Quarterback Nick Arbuckle was named Most Valuable Player for passing 252 yards in the game, while Dijon Brissett received the title of Most Valuable Canadian. This celebration showcased the tremendous support from fans and emphasized the team's strong bond with the community.
Toronto Zoo names new Red Panda cub Poppy. The Toronto Zoo has named its new Red Panda cub Poppy after a community vote. Thousands of people participated in choosing the name. Poppy honors her mother, Sakura, who sadly passed away in August. Red pandas encounter many challenges, with only about 40% of cubs surviving their first year. The population of red pandas is estimated to be below 10,000, which classifies them as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. This naming event emphasizes the vital role of community support in wildlife conservation efforts.
Significant improvement in 911 response times in Peel Region. In Peel Region, Ontario, 911 wait times have decreased by 78% this year. The average hold time for emergency calls is now just 14 seconds. During a recent news conference, Brampton Mayor Brown praised the Peel Police Service for their efforts. Key changes that contributed to this improvement included hiring more staff, launching a public information campaign to educate the community, and implementing an automated callback system for hang-up calls. This new system has efficiently handled over 75,000 hang-up calls, allowing emergency responders to better focus on genuine emergencies. These enhancements help ensure quicker and more effective emergency response for the residents.
Regulatory action against Sunrise Homes in Ontario. The Home Construction Regulatory Authority, known as HCRA, in Ontario is seeking to revoke the licenses of Sunrise Homes over allegations of illegal building and sales practices. More than 100 buyers have collectively lost around 14 million Canadian dollars, which is approximately $10.32 million in down payments. One impacted buyer invested 100,000 Canadian dollars, but discovered that his pre-construction home project is in receivership. HCRA officials have stated that this action underscores their commitment to ensuring that builders follow legal guidelines. This situation highlights significant concerns regarding the safety of investments in home construction in Ontario.
That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's Headphone News. News summary brought to you by AI.